So the Snippet series is generously sponsored by the Saka family, by Elad and Avram Foreman. We're on the 11th bracha of the Amida, Hashiva Shofteinu Kivarishona. We've been making our way through the explanation of all of the different words. Last spoke about Hasem Menu Yagon Va'anacha, the notion we ask Hashem to remove from us Yagon Va'anacha. And we offered several interpretations, understandings, the sorrow, the groan, the actual hardship we're going through, and the anxiousness or anxiety that comes with the hardship we're going through. To remove the suffering. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. So even though it is inevitable to go through challenges and pain in life, we ask Hashem, Hasam imeni yagon v'anacha, when we have shoftim and yoatzim, when we're able to put things in perspective, in a context, we're able to see everything as coming from Hashem, then it can eliminate the yagon v'anacha, even though there are things that are painful, but there doesn't have to be suffering. And then we continue in the bracha, umloch aleinu ata Hashem levadecha, we ask Hashem to rule over us alone, singularly, levadecha, b'chesed v'rachamim. With chesed and rachamim, of course we'll have to define what is the difference between the two. It's not simply a redundancy or synonym. We ask Him to rule over us with chesed and rachamim. There must be a difference between the two. And tzadkeinu ba'mishpat, we ask Him to help us, tzadkeinu, judge us favorably ba'mishpat. So what does mishpat have to do with malchus shamayim? Umloch aleinu ata Hashem? Hashiva Shofteinu Kivarishona, we're asking for the restoration of justice. We want justice served in the world. Jews, Israel should not be held to a double standard, should not be judged so unfavorably and unfairly. We ask for justice, judgment, our own judgment. Shoftim v'shotrim titein b'chosh harecha. Our own judgment should be clear. Other people's judgment of us should be clear. Judgment is a religious experience. We want the Sanhedrin restored to the Lishkas HaGazas, to the Beis HaMikdash. What does that have to do with Malchus Shamayim? Didn't we already cover that with Shema? Kabbalas HaMalchus Shamayim. We accepted, we surrendered, we submitted to the divine will earlier in Shema and other parts of the Amida. What does Umloch Aleinu Atam Hashem Levadecha have to do with Mishpat? And the answer is everything. It has everything to do with it. It has everything to do with it. Because when there's Malchus Shamayim, when the world is aware of and acknowledges and submits to the Malchus Shamayim, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kingdom, His dominion, His providence, then they'll practice justice in this world. But when people compete with Malchus Shamayim, when they think that they're in charge, they're in control, their system, their rules of justice will make sense to them, then there's corruption, and there's moral decay, and there's injustice that happens in this world. So we understand that for Mishpat to be redeemed, for Mishpat to be restored, there has to be Malchus Shamayim. So we ask Hashem, Davke in this bracha, Hashiva Shofteinu Kivarishona, let there be fairness and justice and righteousness of the Jewish people, of Israel. And for that to happen, Maloch Aleinu Ata Hashem Levadecha. We need your Malchus to be expressed, to be manifest. We need people to be able to see your guiding hand. We need people to understand that it's not man-made, it's not something humanistic version, what people intuit or what they rationalize. But we have to recognize Malchus Shamayim and Mishpat go together hand in hand. Chassam Sofer in his drushes, he writes, why do we use the word Levadecha? How else will Hashem be Mamlechas? Umloch Aleinu Ata Hashem Levadecha. You alone, as opposed to with his assistant, with his team, with his committee. What do we daven Levadecha? You alone, Hashem. We say these words every day. What do we mean? What's our intent? What are we being inspired by? So Chassam Sofer writes in the drasha, he says that all of us every day are influenced by many variables, by many factors. People are influenced by money, by power, by fame, by influencers. We're influenced by so many factors and variables in the world. And our decision, our judgment gets clouded, can be cloudy. Because we're not only thinking about what will give a nachas ruach to the Eibishter, what does Hashem want from us? We're thinking about what will earn me greater favor, what will earn me greater fame, what will earn me a greater fortune, what will earn me greater honor. We have all kinds of formulas and all kinds of conceptions and all kinds of variables that come into play. So it says the Chassam Sofer, what we're davening for is Umloch Aleinu Ata Hashem Levadecha, not from Hashem's perspective. Hashem has no other way to rule over us other than Levadecha, but it means from our perspective, with each judgment that we need to show on any given day, let us set aside everything else. The question is, How do all the other variables combine that what Hashem wants from us? What does Hashem want? What will give Hashem nachas? What will make Him happy? What does Hashem want from us? The Ramban writes in Vasisa Yoshev Atov that the mitzvah Vasisa Yoshev Atov, do what is just and what is right. What does that mean? So the Ramban writes, Torah can't possibly legislate every scenario that could come up. On any given day, there are all kinds of dilemmas and conundrums. We have all kinds of scenarios that the Torah can't legislate specific or detailed what to do. So we have an overriding umbrella mitzvah, Asisa Yasher V'Atov. When you have to make a decision, when you have a dilemma, when you're not sure what to do, stop and say, what does Hashem want from me? What will give Hashem nachas? What will make Hashem happy? Asisa Yasher V'Atov. What does Hashem want? U'melach aleinu ata Hashem levadecha. With all the other variables and all the other considerations and all the other factors, what does Hashem want from me? Levadecha. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, what should drive the judgment, Hashiva Shofteinu Kevarishona, which should drive all the judgment that we express, should be levadecha. Simply, what does Hashem want? What will give Him nachas ruach? That is the ultimate justice that we can practice, is to advance His will and His want in this world.